The Champions League is without a doubt the most coveted prize in European football. It's a must-have in every legendary player's resume, but it's no easy feat to win it. This video will prove just that, as we'll look into 10 legends of the game who, despite their immeasurable talent, never won the competition. Starting out with Patrick Vieira. Vieira is one of the best defensive midfielders of all time. He was an octopus in his prime that you couldn't run from. He won everything with France and various titles across England and Italy, but in Europe he was a nearly man at best. He left Arsenal 12 months before they reached the Champions League final in 2006, and then decided to leave Inter for Man City 6 months before they won the competition in 2010. Poor Patrick. Moving on to another French legend, Turan. Just like Vieira, Turan was an important piece in France's conquests in 1998 and 2000, but at club level the former right-back didn't achieve nearly as much. He won 2 league titles in Italy, and the closest he ever came to winning the Champions League was in 2003 with La Vecchia Signora. He did everything in his power to keep AC Milan away from goal during 120 minutes, but luck wasn't on his side and Juve lost the final on penalties. Turan also played for Barca, but joined them only a couple of months after their Champions League win and left them a year before they won it again in 2009. Perhaps one of his sons can win it for him. Number 8. Giorgio Chiellini. Another Juve player, another heartbroken man. Although he hasn't officially retired, it's unlikely that the Italian centre-back will come back to Europe to win the big one. He did come close of winning the Champions League a couple of times though. In 2015 and 2017, he helped Juve reach the finals, but they were beaten by Barca and Real respectively. Chiellini had an amazing career though. He won 10 league titles so far, and although he wasn't called up to the 2006 World Cup that Italy would go on to win, he compensated with his Euro 2020 triumph. Number 7. Dennis Bergkamp. I've talked about Bergkamp several times in other videos, and the first word that comes to my mind when I think about him is artist. If you appreciate beautiful football, you'll love Bergkamp. But of course, when you look at serial winners, most of the times they don't focus on the beauty of the game, and his trophy case paints a picture for you. Although he won multiple league titles, a Cup Winners' Cup and a UEFA Cup, the biggest prizes are still missing. Although it's heartbreaking, perhaps it's fitting that he never won the Champions League, since he missed out on so many away games in Europe due to his fear of flying. Continuing on with another Premier League legend, Cantona. Widely regarded as the driving force behind Manchester United's success in the 90s, Cantona had already retired when Alex Ferguson's squad finally lifted the trophy in 1999. Although he was an extraordinary player, he never seemed to be nearly as prolific in Europe as he was in the Prem. And at the age of 31, he decided to retire after a lot of aggression and controversy. He's undoubtedly a magnificent player, but his bad temper and inconsistency outside of England makes me wonder if Man United would have still won the Champions League if he was still in the ranks at the time. Number 5. Fabio Cannavaro. The last defender to win the Ballon d'Or and a World Cup winner, Cannavaro has a total of 138 caps for Italy, second only to the next player on this video. But despite being one of the most successful players of his generation and playing for Parma at the peak of their powers, Inter, Juve and Real, he never managed to conquer the Champions League. Maybe one day as a coach? Moving on to the most capped Italian player of all time, Gianluigi Buffon. Buffon made an incredible name for himself with Juventus, racking up an incredible 685 appearances for the club. And at 43 years old, he's still going strong with Parma and inching closer to 1,000 club appearances in total. Throughout his illustrious career, Buffon has lifted an impressive 28 trophies, including a World Cup. But still, the biggest prize in Europe slipped away from him time and time again. Despite reaching the Champions League final 3 times with Juventus in 2003, 2015 and 2017, he unfortunately ended up on the losing side on each occasion. And now, from someone who bottled it 3 times to someone who didn't even make it to the final, Zlatan Ibrahimovic. It's undeniable that the Swedish lion is not a regular human. After all, he's 41 and still going at the highest level. Zlatan has won multiple trophies in his career, played alongside all-time greats, and is perhaps the best example of how a martial artist would play football. Yes, lions don't compare themselves to humans, but there's something that Ibra has in common with you watching. He never won the Champions League. And his case is, in my opinion, the most unlucky of this list. He left Inter for Barca in 2009, and in the same season, Inter would go on to win the Champions League. In the next season, he left Barca for AC Milan, and then Barcelona won the trophy. Even this season with AC Milan, if they had found a way to win the competition, he still wouldn't receive a medal because he wasn't included in their Champions League squad. Tragic. Number 2, Roberto Baggio. Continuing on with another excellent forward, Baggio cemented himself as one of the best players in the 90s. The Divine Ponytail even won the Ballon d'Or in 1993, and after spells with Juve, Fiorentina and both Milan giants, it would be expected that he would top all of his achievements with a Champions League win. Unfortunately, not only did he not win that competition, but also failed to win the World Cup, punting the decisive penalty kick into the stands. You know, there's a saying in Italy, Socrates died poisoned and Baggio died standing. And finally, Ronaldo Nazário. In my opinion, Ronaldo is the best player in this list and could be on the GOAT conversation if it wasn't for the injuries that plagued him. Despite that, he still managed to have a legendary career, being one of the few players to be adored by both Milan giants and both Real and Barca fans. He won everything that there was to win, including 2 World Cups, multiple league titles and 2 Ballon d'Ors. But the most elusive prize still stepped away from him. Nowadays, he seems to be looking to fulfill a more executive role in smaller clubs, so perhaps he can make it up by winning the Champions League as the president. Dream on, Valladolid fans! And that is it! Thank you for reaching the end of the video. If you like content like this, subscribe so you don't miss a single update from Turan FC. And since you've liked this video, watch this one up next. I bet you'll enjoy it. I'll see you there.